Hey guys, my name is Paul Jacobs and I am a visual communication design graduate from Stellenbosch University. I graduated last year. This is a requested video about explaining the Stellenbosch University Portfolio requirements. A bit of background about me is that I had applied to UCT, UJ, WITS and Stellenbosch University. They had different portfolio requirements and I got accepted into all of them. So I would hope that the insights I have here would be useful to those who are trying to understand the process of the Stellenbosch University Portfolio. I will timestamp each question so that you can skip to the relevant one, as this might be a bit of a long video. Please be aware of, in the form, if you see the personal particulars number 1, in your first choice, please ensure that you put number 1 in the correct box. I know someone who let their parents fill in their form and their parents filled in fine art as their first choice instead of visual communication design and installed their studies by year. So please check that part if you're not filling it yourself. Secondly, please ensure that you're emailing it to proper submission area for your portfolio, which is visual art application at sun.ac.za. Make sure you do submit it in the correct time. Third, please note that the university's application deadline is different from the portfolio deadline. The portfolio is due on the 1st of September and university applications are due at the end of this month. So please make sure that you apply first before submitting your portfolio, because there's no point in submitting a portfolio if you haven't applied at all. Please note that they request for a PDF file. There are also online resources which can help convert Word to PDF. I know that Google Docs also has an option to export as a PDF, so please use those. Online PDF I like using is I love PDF because they seem a bit reliable, but don't take my advice. If you do have Adobe, great, but if not, please use something to make sure it is a PDF. The first exercise is about placing a crumpled white sheet of paper against a simple sort of white surface against a smooth white wall as background. If you do not have a white surface or white wall, simply stick a piece of white paper on the wall and then place a white piece of paper on whatever surface you are going to be placing this crumpled white paper on. So as you can see in the questions, it's all about proportional relations and tonal values and planes. I will attach some videos on values and planes. As you know, value is supposed to be the lightness and darkness of an object, and then planes are basically the small little shapes that make a 3D surface. My suggestion for this exercise is that, firstly, make sure you have one light source. For example, I'm right next to a window, and then that gives you a great understanding of where the light is coming from, and having the light come from a single direction will make drawing very easy. The issue with drawing during the daytime is that the light shifts, so you won't necessarily be getting the same intensity and same direction of light. I would suggest that if you can, close the curtains, make the room as dark as possible, and if you have one light source like a light bulb or even better, a study lamp, that might make it easier, because then you have a side with the light and a clear side of shadow. If you know the values, it's a scale usually of 1 to 10. Make sure you have a good range of values. It shouldn't be just light as in white and dark. If you're smart, the white of the paper still counts as light, but make sure that you are accurately showcasing that, because not all of these light areas will necessarily be stark white. Materials, it says pencil. I would suggest having a variation of pencils, as in having 2B, 4B, 6B, because those 4, 6Bs can give you darker tones, which can be helpful in, in shading, and also they're a bit soft. Because they're softer, they're more blendable, so you'll be able to kind of blend wherever necessary, soften the edges where you need to, because a shadow isn't necessarily hard. 1.2 is about placing a cardboard container with printed images on its planes on a white surface, and then you have to position so that it's viewed in 2-point perspective. Then using color and lead pencils, you have to make a drawing of this. An example of 2-point perspective would be like this. See, there's the center, 1 point, 2 point, and then this is, and then you have to basically just accurately redraw what you see and colors and making sure it's detailed. One thing you should know if you've drawn before, one side, as you can see, is in the light, is lighter, the other side is slightly darker. Those are things that you have to observe while drawing, so make sure you keep that at note. And number 1.3 is choosing 3 cardboard boxes. You're crushing them and you're placing them on a flat surface that varies in distance from each other. And so basically it's like a combination of 1 and 1.2. It's just that now you are crushing the said box, and then you place it flat. You'd have 2 other ones, hopefully different, and then you would draw all of them. So this one is a bit more advanced because now not only are you considering the text and the images, it's the various shades and the various planes and how they distort, and then having to draw that. Please note with this exercise too, it's excluding color pencils, so it's just drawing in pencil. So that would mean it's basically like 1.1, but now boxes with print and images on them. Number 2.1 is drawing a fictional hybrid creature. And so this one, basically you have to design some sort of fictional creature in 3D. It's basically a sculpture, an original sculpture. Highlight on the originality. Guys, I cannot warn you enough. The lecturers have seen everything. They can find plagiarism, so your creature don't take an existing idea that someone else has done and recreated. Basically go weird, mix things that you have not seen before. Like, I'd suggest finding a couple of images or things of mythical things you like or existing things and just combining them. My one was very weird. It almost looked like if a bug and a dinosaur and some sort of alien had a baby. Literally, it didn't even have a face. Yeah, it was so odd. And I combined a lot of things. I used my Christmas tree, some linseeds, some weird rocks I found like in our plant decoration of home, toothpaste. I combined a lot of weird things to make my creature. And I think that's literally it. You can go as crazy and as weird as you want. And the more random things you can find, I think that helps make it more original. Because it's not supposed to necessarily be perfect. And you have to take pictures of your process work. Take pictures of your process work. Basically, whatever sketches you had to do to find that creature, if you had to collage or find different variations of pictures of your thing to combine them, you show that this is a way that you show how you think and that you're able to do process work. Process work is so important, guys. Up until 4th year, you will have to show process work for all of your projects. So this is an exercise to show that can you be able to showcase your process work? Take pictures of your creature. Important things to notice about picture taking: take them in good lighting. I took mine literally outdoors, outside the house. Fortunately, it was a cold day according to my images, so that helped in showcasing it well. Keeping the surface it's on neat, maybe like, again, white sheet of paper or some table will be adequate. 2.2 is basically after creating your creature, you're showcasing it in drawing it in 2D as a comic, basically, on how it would be navigating its environment. This is testing your storytelling abilities and your ability to visually communicate. So what is that? It's basically, can you visually, without words, show what your creature does? That's the test of it, basically. So without words, can you actually show how the creature navigates its environment? There's so many ways to think of this. It's whether, how does it move around? How does it eat? How does it sleep? How does it communicate? What does it do? Those are some of the ways it can navigate its environment. And because you have 5 panels, you cannot really do much. That's limiting you to be able to really reduce it to as little information as possible that describes it well. I'd suggest you don't have to showcase it eating and doing this and that, and just pick one aspect of it you want to show and then narrate that within 5 sequences. And with this, be creative too. Like, be creative in the way you showcase what it does. I remember with mine, I was showcasing how it ate, and I made it sort of eat in a very unusual way where its mouth organ wasn't really where the mouth is. I was playing to the fact that mine didn't have a face. So, go crazy, go weird with it. I think the weirder you can go, the more creative and original it is. So with this, as weird as it may feel and as uncomfortable it is to go wacky and weird, I'm suggesting to you, really leaning onto the wackiness and weirdness will help you stay original and not plagiarize. 2.3 is getting into the nitty-gritty of graphic design, because now you have to design a logo that describes the animal in you. So it has to represent you in some way in animal form. With logos, keeping it simple takes you very far. Simple shapes. A rookie mistake that I did myself when doing Lego design is making them very intricate. No, keep it simple. And here they say simplified abstract form. Because abstract, that means that it does not necessarily need to, represent an existing thing, in the sense that it has to look like an elephant. Play around with the things, as they say, manipulating, cutting, cropping, shifting, merging. Draw out maybe certain things. Let's say you resonate with an elephant. Draw whatever simplified version of the elephant, cut it up and play around with shifting things around, almost like a puzzle, and seeing what interesting shapes show up from there. And then you can base your logo design on that. For me, when I did it, I kept it very safe and it looked a bit more like the animal represented. It was my initials, but I do think that wasn't a strong concept, because when I got into my studies and we actually began exploring logo making, the way that we work is basically with this cutting, shifting, merging, making abstract shapes. That's the thing. Abstract means it does not have to represent reality. So get creative. You can still show in your process that, hey, it actually came from this elephant, but once I played around with the shapes, I kind of got into this new weird shape. And then that is how I'm describing myself as a logo. Project 3 is basically additional artwork portfolio. It is a great part to showcase your skills and what makes you shine as an artist. I suggest picking 3 of your most recent best artworks and showcasing them there. Project 4 is definitely one of the most important aspects of this, because you get to speak what your portfolio doesn't encompass, and you get to sell yourself. Selling yourself is so important in this industry, because you're trying to convince them why you're above the rest, what makes you the cream of the crop, and what makes them need to have you in the program. So the things they really want you to have is your name, the course you're applying for, why you want to join the specific program and why it's Stellenbosch University, and then what inspires you, who or what inspires you. So that already gives you a guide on what things you need to answer. First thing I'd suggest that you do is that writing these points down and then jotting down everything you want to say. You have the option of a video or a sound recording. I did a sound recording simply because you can read from your page and be able to say everything that you need to say, compared to video where you'll be like looking left and right. Right now, probably still the holidays for some of you all, so I hope you are starting with your portfolio. I'd highly suggest once you're done with it, maybe when school comes back, if you have an art teacher, please show them your portfolio. Give them some time, like a week or two, for feedback, so that they can give you feedback on what to technically improve, so that you bring in the best, your A game. Yeah, that is it from me. All the best to those writing trials and finals. Please remember, check the information, fill in things correctly, label things correctly, submit in time. Apply to more than one place. With portfolios, you never know the outcome, so please ensure that, especially if you're wanting a degree in visual arts, that you apply to more than one place to give yourself enough chances and options. Yeah, and I wish you all the best. Thanks. Bye.